Sam Heughan claims he will surpass Daniel Craig in the role of James Bond he is about to take on. Sam Heughan was sitting in his cottage in the Scottish Highlands, sipping tea and rereading the script for his independent film. Suddenly, the phone rang. The screen read, "B. Broccoli." He froze. Barbara Broccoli, the legendary producer of the James Bond series, never called unless it was serious. "Sam, we've decided. You're the next James Bond." The tea in Sam's hand nearly spilled. His heart was beating faster than it had when he was doing a stunt without a stuntman. "Barbara, am I serious? We need another Bond. Younger, sharper, and with a Scottish Highland streak in his blood." Sam whispered, "I was born to do this." Part 2, the press conference that shocked the world. On March 14, at the Savoy Hotel in London, in a conference room filled with flashbulbs, Barbara Broccoli, Michael G. Wilson and a main character stepped out, Sam Heughan, in a black tuxedo, sunglasses and the standard James Bond demeanor. After the introduction, a reporter asked directly, "Sam, do you feel pressured to follow in the footsteps of a legendary Bond like Daniel Craig?" Sam smiled, his eyes unwavering. "I respect Daniel. But my Bond will be more dangerous, more attractive and deeper. I will not only inherit the legacy, I will rewrite it. And yes, I believe I will surpass Daniel Craig." The whole room exploded. Part 3, Daniel Craig's first reaction. Less than 24 hours later, Daniel Craig was spotted leaving the Ritz-Carlton in Berlin. Reporters surrounded him, asking, "Did you hear what Sam Heughan said? He said he'd surpass you." Daniel stopped, turned around, and curled his lips. He hasn't even shot a scene yet. Let the camera decide. Part 4, the TENSIONAIRE behind the scenes. At Pinewood Studios, Bond's headquarters, everything was kept absolutely secret. Sam began training with his former MI6 Special Forces instructor. He learned to shoot, drive armored vehicles, fight hand-to-hand and even pick a lock with a toothpick. Sam also turned down all other projects, even cancelling the launch of his new gin. "Bond doesn't tell anyone. I'm 007 full-time," he told GQ. During an internal audition, the directors were left speechless when Sam walked in with an icy stare and said, "The name's Bond. James Bond." Part 5, The Old Enemy returns. While Sam was busy training, another bombshell broke. Daniel Craig would be making a secret cameo in the new film, For Queen and Ghosts. The source revealed, Craig would be playing the old Bond, in a parallel timeline where 007 has become a villain. The script was written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and directed by Denis Villeneuve, an unlikely pairing. Part 6, Social media explodes. Audience reactions are polarized. #Team Sam, we need a new Bond, more fiery and mysterious. Sam was born for this role. #Bring back Craig, Daniel is the real Bond. No one can replace him. The ## Bond war climbed to the top of global trends within 3 hours, a magazine wrote. This is no longer a movie story, this is an iconic battle between two eras, old Bond and new Bond. On set in Iceland, where the Snowchase scene was being filmed, Sam Heughan had a 16-hour day. The action scene required him to cross thin ice, dive into freezing water, and wrestle with enemies while breathing limited oxygen. Director Denis Villeneuve didn't cut the camera. He wanted the feeling of, Bond is really about to die. After the final shot, Sam staggered out of the water. He was panting, his eyes bloodshot, but his gaze was still fiery. The director simply said, Craig can't do this in one take. You can. A day later, a behind-the-scenes clip leaked, Sam standing in the snow, soaked, freezing, but still repeating the line. You thought I'd freeze to death? I'm the ghost in the frost. The internet went wild. Part 8. Face to Face. When the Bond meets, Daniel Craig's cameo takes place in secret at a studio in Prague. Sam and Daniel have no scenes together. But Barbara Broccoli, perhaps deliberately, arranges an unannounced lunch for the two. They sit across from each other. A long table. No one speaks for 3 minutes. Finally, Daniel says, "They say you have the eyes of a killer. What do you know about killing, Sam?" Sam looks Daniel straight in the eye, unblinking. "And you killed the emotions of a true Bond with your cold exterior. I'll bring his heart back." Mrs. Broccoli smiles. She knows, the fight has begun. Part 9, the premiere, and the boom. The 12th of May 2027. The premiere of James Bond, for Queen and Ghosts at the Royal Albert Hall. Sam steps onto the red carpet in a black silk tuxedo, pinned with a gold-plated 007 logo. Beside him is not a female co-star, but his mother. When asked why, Sam says, "My mother used to say, if you're going to be Bond, do it in a way that would make me proud." She didn't say anything about fame, just about character. The screening begins. For 2 hours and 28 minutes, the audience is holding their breath. Sam's Bond is not just sexy and killer, he's also miserable, torn, and neurotic because of his inhumane missions. A scene of him crying in front of a mirror, his fist smashing the glass, silenced the entire theater. At the end of the film, Daniel Craig appeared as a parallel Bond, like a nightmare from a dead era. Part 10. Reactions after the movie, the new name of 007. That same night, Rotten Tomatoes scored 96% from critics, 98% from audiences. The Guardian. Sam Heughan doesn't just inherit, he completely transforms the Bond image into a more human, deeper and more dangerous icon than ever. Variety wrote, "Craig is the past. Sam is the future legacy." Netizens renamed the hashtag. Hashtag Bond Reborn. #HeughanisBond. Part 11. A predecessor's acceptance. 3 days after the premiere, Daniel Craig posted a black and white photo on Instagram. Camera with flash photo, Sam standing in front of a mirror in the movie, hands covered in blood, eyes filled with pain. Caption: "Not all ghosts haunt. Some take over. Congratulations, Sam. It's yours now." The online community exploded. Sam responded later in a short interview, "I didn't beat Daniel Craig. I just followed in his footsteps in my own way. But hearing that from him means I've become the real Bond." Part 12. Awards and Legacy. A year later, at the 2028 Oscars, Sam Heughan won Best Actor, the first time in history that a James Bond has won an acting Oscar. Accepting the award, he said, "I wasn't born in Hollywood. I grew up on the cold wind and the Scottish hills. But today, I stand here not because of my looks, but because Bond, at last, is understood as a man." Epilogue. 007 More Than a Code. The film ends with Bond, no longer a spy, living incognito in a small Japanese village. He helps people fix machines, plants rice, and reads by the window. A child asks him, "What's your name?" Bond smiles, "You can call me James. Just James." Black screen. The text that appears, .007, is more than just a number. It is a symbol of what we choose to keep, when all else is lost.